Do you remember your first pet? Well, I fondly remember mine. Unfortunately, the story didn't end well. It's coming up in this video. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Before we get going too far in this video, I really encourage you to get a copy of my free book. You can click the link in the box below for more information. Well, a long time ago, I was about this age. I'm pictured here on the left with our cat Beauty and those styling shorts. I'm thinking 9-ish, grade 4. We grew up in this big family farm, many animals. We had horses, cows, ducks, turkeys, chickens, guinea fowl, sheep, baby lambs making their way into our house. But especially, what do I remember most? Our cats and our dogs. But the first animal, the one that I most fondly remember, that's our first dog. He was this awesome little personality-filled pug named Horace. Kind of like this. I don't know if you know pugs or not. They are, I love them, and they're great little dogs. They can be a challenge to train. They have their own little unique personality. They make awesome little smallish house dogs. But maybe you wouldn't consider them on the high end of the canine intelligence scale. Sir, no offense, I was a pug owner and I think they're great. Horace, he was a really unusual choice of a dog as a farm animal. Obviously, my dad was somewhat unusual in terms of he thought they're great dogs. Makes no sense. He didn't have a clue of what he was supposed to do around a cow, a horse, a sheep. He would get in the way, he would see a big tractor coming and imagine it's going to stop for him, which it always did. So here's the story, or at least what happened. It was a Sunday. It was, I'm feeling it was sort of spring, late spring. We're still in school. I'm guessing my mom was at work. She was a nurse working shift work. So there was just the three of us, myself and my two younger brothers with my dad. And he was working on something in the barnyard, I think an older car or something. And so we were hanging around. I think partly helping them. Little Horace was there too. And, I think that, the three of us are distracted working away. And he sort of wandered away as dogs do. But what happened, at least, what we ended up seeing, is that, we're working up close to this really very seldom traveled road on the way to our farm. All of a sudden, I noticed these cars were pulling up and kind of pulling around. I'm like, what? So my dad stopped. He went up to check, exactly what's happening and, what does he find? But there's our pug Horace who'd been run over, and, he's lying there, obviously completely dead, not moving. There's a bunch of things I remember growing up, but at that moment, and when I sort of reflect back on that, there was such deep, strong, just gutted feelings as far as what has happened. And I don't think I'd never experienced that kind of a loss before. You're just a young kid. I think prior to that, my grandmother had died. We weren't really close to her. It's not like I wasn't sad about it. Obviously I was, but not close in that way. And it was just, it's one of those feelings that until you had experienced yourself, it's just so hard to explain. And all of you, if you yourself have ever lost a pet, you know what I mean, especially one that you're really close to. I think and then even gets amplified when you're a young kid and it's kind of like your first animal. So I think part of my point of this video is even, here's my age of 52, yes, believe it or not. And, I can still acutely remember those strong feelings then, being that, super young kid, just being that's it. I mean, what I thought was something that I just valued so much in the world has just died. Like, how do you even just get over that? Like, but to end on maybe a slightly more happier note, anytime I think about sort of that past, I kind of think about like that first dog. I mean, he slept in our beds. He would made that snorting little pug noise because he's got the brachyscephalic pushed in face. He, would run around in circles, chase his tail, entertain us. He was such a great kid dog as far as like, oh, wherever we're going, he wanted to go. It was such a big, strong positive memory having him around. So I mean, I always like look back on that super fondly and not try to dwell on this pretty tragic ending to his life, and just being really thankful that he was in our life in the first place, and somehow my dad and obviously my mom and my parents felt fit to bring a pug as kind of the first farm dog. Thanks again so much, you guys, for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets. I love to hear your feedback, your comments, and if you yet to get a copy of my free book, you can click the link in the box below. Do you remember your first pet? Well, I remember mine well. Unfortunately, the story didn't end.